Before we start off this video, I just have a little question for you guys for the comments, maybe a little bit of an informal poll, and that is, which side of your screen do you play RuneScape on? As you see here in my setup, I have the RuneScape screen on resizable on the left side of my screen, and I usually have YouTube or whatever I'm watching on the right side. But who knows, maybe I should change this. I am right eye dominant, which as most people are, meaning that my right eye has the center of my vision, so maybe it would actually be better if I put the RuneScape on the right side of my screen. What do you guys do? Do you play on the left side, right side? Do you play fixed, resizable, full screen? I'm just curious to know what you guys do. I also do have a second monitor, usually on the left side when I'm at home, and on the right side when I'm at school, but I don't usually put a ton there. Unless I'm playing on two accounts at once, I sometimes do that, but usually I just have Discord there or something. But let me know what you guys do, I'm really curious. Hey guys, what's up? It's AndrewAJT, back for another video for you guys. Today we have a skilling guide, something I don't usually make, but you guys know I do lots of skilling. I'm eventually going for max total, and one of the skills that I do want to get 99 in is Thieving. And there's actually a method that has become actually kind of popular now, but I actually invented this method around a couple years ago, and I want to show you guys how to do that today. And so the gist of this method is that a lot of people complain with Thieving that some of the methods to training it, such as blackjacking, are extremely click intensive and they could really hurt your hands after a while. But I'm here to show you guys today that you actually can train Thieving very quickly without even using your hands at all. You can use your feet, which may sound crazy. But yeah, essentially we're going to go pickpocket Ardougne Knights for GP and Thieving experience. And yeah, it's very, very fast. You need 55 Thieving to start training this method, and by 95 Thieving you will not fail thieving them at all. But for most people, you are going to need a couple things. So the only thing you really need is food, which is monkfish is probably the best choice. It's cheap, and also you can fish it yourself or whatever you want to do. I'm sure there's other food that works, like baskets of strawberries. People are going to have some weird ideas. It doesn't really matter. If you're 95 Thieving though, you don't need food because you will never be failing. Also, a dodgy necklace is good. This reduces your chance of failing sometimes, which is very, very nice. And you can make them. They're silver jewelry, very cheap if you're an Iron Man. So the other things that you can bring, which are optional, is the HP cape. The HP cape, if you don't know, it basically grants you infinite use of the prayer rapid heal without having to have the prayer activated, which basically means that you're going to be healing 2 HP a minute rather than 1, which is good to add up over time. That's an extra 60 hit points every hour, which is very helpful. But they do not stack, so don't try wearing the HP cape and doing rapid heal at the same time, because it will have absolutely no effect. So the other thing you can bring, which is a little bit expensive, is the regen bracelet. This will double your HP restoration again to 4 a minute, and this does stack with the HP cape. So people think of the regen brace as like a very newbie item, like, oh my god, just go get Barrow's gloves, you idiot. But it actually is very useful here for this purpose. But yeah, there's other things you can bring, and that is the Rogue set, which you get from the Rogue's Den minigame. And this doesn't actually increase your chances of thieving, but what it does is it gives you double the coins from the Ardougne Knights. So every time you thieve them, instead of getting 50 coins, you'll get 100 coins, which can give you about 300k per hour without failing, which is actually pretty good money considering you literally do not have to move your hands for this method. So this is optional, and if you guys want to get this, I have a guide, or actually I don't have a guide, but someone else made a very good guide for this, and I don't even want to try making a better one, so I'm going to link that down below. But what I recommend is you just try this method first and see if you like it, and then if you do, you can go get the Rogue set, because again, it's just a small extra money per hour. Definitely worth it if you're going for like 99, but if you're just going to try this out, you don't really need it. So we're going to head on over to Ardougne. I have the portal in my house, but if you don't know how to get to Ardougne, you can use a teleport in the normal spellbook, and you could probably buy tabs off the GE. And I'm going to show you like a basic inventory setup you can use, which of course you can always mix and match. It doesn't really matter the exact ratios, but you can kind of figure them out for yourself. But I'll show you roughly what I use. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, you actually can't use the regen brace if you have the full Rogue set, because you need to wear the Rogue gloves. Only wearing the full set will give you the double HP restoration, so if you don't have the Rogue set, you can use the regen bracelet, but if you do, you might as well sell this back. I didn't realize that. So here's a setup that I use. I have about 6 dodgy necklaces, and also 1 equipped to start out, and a bunch of monkfish, and leave 1 inventory space open for coins, and I do not recommend you bring a pet with you for thieving these if you do not have the Rocky pet already, because if you start thieving these and you have coins in your inventory and you have a pet out, you won't be able to get the thieving pet at least until you start eating some food, because if you have a pet out, normally the pet goes in your inventory, but if your inventory is full, then the pet is just lost forever. It's immediately killed, so you do not want to risk that. And basically what you want to do once you're here is just hop around until you see people thieving the Ardougne Knight already. I'm on the 2K world, which pretty much always has someone doing this, but if you don't have the top 2,000 total, it's really not a big deal. You could pretty easily find another world where people are doing this. So once you're here, you want to go into your NPC attack options and click hidden, and then you go in the store, and you want to go in, close the door, and then you want to basically line your camera up like this and zoom in. So basically what this does is it means you can just start spam clicking the Ardougne Knight like this. Obviously that's not a very good demonstration when I'm failing it on the very first try, but this is the gist of the normal way to do this method. So I'm clicking right now, but obviously if I'm doing this for hours and hours and hours, my finger is going to get really fucking tired. So now we're going to actually jump to real life to show you guys how to do this with your feet very easily. Before we do that though, I just want to mention one thing so you don't piss everyone here off. Don't just stand here and start thieving him like this, because if you do this, the knight won't be able to move back and forth, and if he's not allowed to move back and forth, eventually after like 5 to 10 minutes, he will despawn. So make sure your camera is angled like this, and you could just keep thieving the knight like this, and when he does move over, your character will like automatically go and follow him, so he never despawns. So that's basically the gist of it. The knight needs to be able to move between these two squares if he's never going to despawn. So once you've logged into real life, you can pretty much prepare to set up. The only thing you're going to need for this is a second mouse. So I have my right-handed Death Adder here to use for this. Although you really don't need an expensive mouse at all. You could actually just go buy like a $2 Walmart mouse and it would work just as well. The only thing that's nice about this is I can set it so that both of the clicks are going to be left click in Razer Synapse, and I could also lower the sensitivity so the mouse won't move, but there's a solution to that if you want to use a cheap mouse, which I'll show you now actually. So what you want to do is just take your mouse and plop it on the floor like so. Go line it up nicely with your feet, and all you have to do is take your normal mouse and line up your cursor here, right here around his shoulder. And yep, we're still lined up nicely. And all you have to do is just start spam clicking with your big toe, just like this. And look at that, the Thieving XP is coming in very quickly. With my big toe, I'm holding the camera with 2 hands right now, and all I'm doing is just spam clicking the mouse with my big toe. Very simple, no problem at all. Your big toe is very strong compared to most of your fingers, so it takes almost no effort to spam click the mouse with your big toe. And yeah, it's just incredible thieving experience. Of course, you'll fail sometimes. The only thing to mention is I recommend every 10 to 15 minutes just switching which foot you're using, because your big toe will get tired after a little while. So you can pretty much cycle them and make sure each toe is getting plenty of rest so you don't really run into too many problems there. And some of you guys may see that, oh, you have a foot pedal right there. I have a USB foot pedal. I use this for speed running and a few things in RuneScape as well. And why don't you just use this? Well, you could just keep doing this, and this would work. Like, you know, just keep hitting this pedal down. But with a foot pedal, your foot is actually going to get tired very quickly. Like your leg will probably be hurting within the hour. So I wouldn't actually recommend using a foot pedal for this. Although I guess theoretically it could work. It's just a lot more effort than spam clicking the mouse here, which is very, very easy. So again, that's really the gist of this method, doing it again right here. Just to reiterate, yeah, you might think, well, what the hell, you need a second mouse for this? But literally go through your house, find any cheap USB mouse you could possibly find, or get like a $2 one or something, and use that as the one you're going to use for your feet. It's not that hard to get a second mouse. You don't need 2 quality mice, you just need really 2 mice of any quality. And you will see this message in chat, your dodgy necklace protects you, it crumbles to dust, so when that happens, just equip another one here, and yeah, just pay attention to this. Luckily it's in red, so you'll probably notice it. So let's talk some numbers real quick. So how much GP can you make here an hour, and how much XP can you get per hour? So basically, if you're 95 thieving, you will never fail these nights, and anything below that you'll slowly get to a point where you're failing it less and less, so it really depends on your thieving level. But what I will say is at 95 thieving, you can thieve these about 3,000 times per hour, and that would get you around 252 XP, 252k XP per hour. so around 250,000, and also about 300k GP an hour. But like at my level, at like 81 or so, I can probably get around maybe 180k per hour if I'm paying complete attention, and around, you could do the proportion for that for the money as well. So it really depends on your level, but ultimately people do this actually way past 99 as well for the pet, so you can actually expect some pretty good money in the long run doing this, and a lot of XP. That's why you see so many people with like 200 mil thieving, because they'll just do this but with their finger, and yeah, some of these people actually lose their fingers, but that will not happen to you. You will just be fine. You can switch your foot every few minutes, and you shouldn't have any problem. I suppose you could get some sort of RSI in your feet if you did this non-stop, so obviously go and do other things with your hands instead every once in a while so your toes don't get that tired, but being able to switch between your toes pretty easily makes this a really nice method. I will say as well that this is not the best thieving experience in the game per hour at really any level, but it's pretty close to the best at most levels. And look at this guy. This is the guy doing something you don't want to do. You don't want to go in that corner there. Again, you got to give the knight room to move around, unlike this guy. But yeah, basically this is not the best thieving experience at most levels, but it's not that worse than the best methods. Maybe at some levels it is, but for the amount of effort required for this, which is extremely low, it's pretty damn good. And so the other thing obviously is that when you're doing this, you can't be using your mouse for too many other things. Like you can't be playing on like another account unless you have another computer you can use. So you could just like watch YouTube, or you could do things on like kind of IRL. You could play, if you have it, like I have a TV next to my desk, so I could play like video games there. Also, it's nice to have your phone on you so you can like browse Twitter and stuff while you're doing this, because your hands are just going to be sitting there and you're probably going to be wanting keeping your hands busy in some way. So I hope you guys find this method that I invented useful. It's definitely a very great way to train thieving. Some of you guys may say in the comments that this is totally ridiculous, using your feet to play RuneScape, and yes, it is totally ridiculous, but it also makes a lot of sense. I mean, why strain your hands for a skill that tends to do that? Just like skills like fletching, runecrafting, even thieving, and skills like that, they do tend to really hurt your hands after a while, also construction. But here is a method of training one of those skills very quickly that literally you don't have to use your hands at all, and even if that's not a concern for you, if you have robotic hands, it's also very relaxing to just use your feet for this, so why not? But yeah, also good luck with the pet. The pet is around 20 mil XP average to get it by doing this method, which may sound like a lot. You do see a lot of rocky pets here and there, like in the game, but that's just because a lot of people do thieving compared to like runecrafting, where not a lot of people train it. But there's definitely a good chance of doing 99 without getting the pet. I didn't get the farming pet for 99, I didn't get the woodcutting pet for 99, I didn't get the fire making pet for 99. For most 99s, you will not get the pet before you get the 99, although I did get the fishing pet at 73, so you never know, and you're constantly playing the odds here, so you might just get it. So if you guys like this video, you can join the clan chat up on screen, AndrewAJT62, just my general discussion clan chat, and let me know in the comments if you do get the pet using this method. I would love to know. Otherwise, you can like the video if you enjoyed and if this helped you out. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell if you want to get a notification whenever I upload. You can also follow me on Twitter down below. I'll follow you back if you play RS. And you could also follow me on Twitch down below and support us on Patreon if you really like. So hope you guys are going to do some good thieving with this method, and I will see you guys soon in the next video.